You're watching an all-new edition of Always Bet on Jack and Zach, presented by BetOnline.ag. What the hell else would it be presented by, Zach? What's that promo code that everybody could use to get 50% off their next thing at BetOnline.ag?
Capital BLEAV 50.
And I do want to reiterate, just in case you couldn't hear it through the crappy Zoom audio at Zachary Kelly's house, that is capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus using BetOnline.ag. Capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus only at BetOnline.ag. And if you didn't pay attention the first two times, Zach, that was capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus only at BetOnline.ag. The BET in BetOnline.ag.
Ooh,
what the hell's been happening in the last
All right, so let's talk about what just happened just as we started recording. The Golden State Warriors winning by 3 points, 101-98 against the Memphis Grizzlies, taking a 3-1 lead. You know, we thought after Kevin Durant left, the Warriors were gone, kaput, but Klay Thompson's back, Jordan Poole's great. Warriors are going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Hopefully, if they don't choke a 3-1 lead again. It's crazy. So NBA. So let's just get into that. NBA playoffs. Have you been watching? What are your thoughts so far with some of these?
I'm not sure. I mean, the writing was on the wall back in October when the season started. I think everybody saw the Suns and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. The Mavericks,
They're giving Suns fits right now. It's a tight series. They're definitely
the Pelicans kind of gave the Suns a run for their money, right?
A little bit.
The Suns entertained them a little bit, and the Suns are entertaining the Mavericks right now, and it's all good. But at the end of the day, they're going to lay the smackdown on their asses. Dirk Nowitzki's Dallas Mavericks. They'll always be Dirk Nowitzki's Dallas Mavericks. They'll always be
I love how Luka's averaging 36 points in this series, and you're still like, they're still Dirk's Mavs.
They're still Dirk's Mavericks. They're still Jason Kidd's Mavericks. Remember when he coached them back in the day, right?
He is the coach right now. Jason Kidd is the coach of the Mavericks.
Shows you how much I know. I remember when the Nets traded him. The New Jersey Nets traded him.
And he won a that was the year they won the championship with Dirk when he was their six-man point guard. But he actually is the coach now.
I love how you laughed at that right away, fully knowing that I didn't know that.
Dude, I mean, think about this. In like 2 months, it's going to be baseball. It's going to be the other way around again. So what goes around comes around, as they say.
What do you mean 2 months from now? The New York Yankees, one of the best teams in baseball. The New York Mets, one of the best teams in baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the best team in baseball. But the Yankees just had an 11-game winning streak. Acknowledge them, Zach. Acknowledge the New York Yankees. They're 20-8 right now. 20 wins, 8 losses. The Mets kicking ass, leading the NL East. It's going to be interesting down the line. I still don't think there's anything special about this New York Yankee team. Hate to say it, Yankee fans. I don't see this being anything sweeter than maybe a wild card ALDS run for Aaron Boone's Yankees in his 5th season as manager. But I like where we're at right now. Josh Donaldson, I think, needs to heat up. We're seeing the best version of Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton right now, what everybody wanted them to be back in 2018 when Giancarlo joined the team. Garrett Cole, we've gotten a lot of great performances out of. Kiner Falefa is starting to come up clutch in the bottom third of the order, which was always the thorn in the side the first few weeks for the Yankees. We didn't know what 5 through 9 was going to do. Joey Gallo's finally starting to heat up a little bit. God, who am I missing? Gleyber Torres just hit a walk-off home run yesterday. I feel like I am missing something very, very important about this Yankees run right now. Oh, yeah, Anthony Rizzo, former Chicago Cub, former World Series champ, 2016, caught the final out. He leads the majors in home runs. The guy's unstoppable, leads the majors in RBIs as well. Who the hell would have thought? Anthony Rizzo, resurgence in New York. It's like almost every big hitter that's ever come to New York to play for the Yankees, some way, somehow, just resurges their career, except Josh Donaldson, but time will tell with him. So what are your thoughts on Major League Baseball these days? Have you been watching anything in the month of April and early May for Major League Baseball? Is that
only the Mets? Only the Mets. That has been fun to watch just because it was Mother's Day recently. My grandma, who passed a while ago, was a giant Mets fan. She hated it. she hated the Dodgers because she was originally a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. She was that old back when they were in Brooklyn. And when they moved to LA, she felt betrayed. So all I really do is occasionally when there's not an NBA playoff game in, I'll tune in a Mets or a Dodgers game and either hope the Mets win or hope the Dodgers lose. I've gotten one of the two. Like you said, Mets, not bad so far. Not bad so far. Dodgers are great. That's awful. So I hope they choke in the playoffs again to this year. That would be awesome. But I don't think so. I would kind of agree with you. Even as someone that doesn't watch a lot of baseball, they're looking really good. Every time I tune in, they're looking like world
Looking pretty
beaters.
good. Excuse me. They're looking pretty good.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're still so early into the season, though. It's like, I mean, are you willing to make any? I mean, how far away are we from even the All-Star break? We're still like what, 2 months away from the All-Star break? How far away are we from
2 months?
All-Star?
Yeah, July 19th is the All-Star game. July 18th
That's what I'm
is the Home Run
saying.
Derby. The real reason why people tune into the All-Star game.
Home
Pete
Run Derby
Alonso,
last year was great.
Ding
Oh my
dong.
God, last year was
Anthony
so
Rizzo's
good.
got to compete in the Home Run Derby this year. Come on, if he's going to be the home run king at the
Yes.
All-Star break, we got to see some Riz at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles, California, Dodger Stadium.
I guess my question to you, as someone that's following more deeply, obviously last year with the Braves and the All-Star game being 2 months away, obviously we learned the back half of the season it's way early. The MLB season is a long season. Is there any team that's not really pieced it together so far early in the season that you're just like, I don't know, keep your eye on them once they get maybe healthier or like they get their lineups figured out, that you think either like right before All-Star break or like the Braves after All-Star break they start coming out hot? One of the teams that just like third, fourth place in their division right now that you think people should still keep an eye out for? Any of those teams?
I don't think we're going to see someone come out of the woodworks and win the World Series like the Braves did last year. I think they
at least like a contender, like make it to
sure. I mean, the Chicago White Sox, I think, have way too much talent. I'm not entirely sure where they're at right now, but they should have been the number one seed in the AL last year, and they kind of fell apart towards the end, and then they got bounced by the Houston in the ALDS, and it wasn't even close in that series. Unfortunately, the Astros are looking strong once again. The Blue Jays, as much as I hate to say it, and they're going to be right there neck and neck with the Yankees, with the Rays. The Rays are going to be right there as well. The Red Sox have the talent. They're just off to a really slow start. Things not really going too well. Xander Bogaerts apparently reportedly said that he's done with the Red Sox. Whatever the hell that means, you're still under contract, bud. I don't know what that means, but obviously there's bad blood between the front office and that clubhouse, so things not really on the same page there, and you kind of need that camaraderie to be a good team, good chemistry. AL East will be interesting if the Yankees can continue to play really well. I mean, they're not going to run away with it. The Blue Jays and the Rays are going to be neck and neck through September. But if I just say one team in the AL, it's the Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
In the NL, I think it's going to – dude, I know the Mets are off to a strong start. I've watched the Mets since I was –
Don't do this.
A lad. Since I was like 4 years old. I started out watching the Mets first before I became a Yankee fan, actually. I think I went to one Mets game, watched them on TV for a couple of weeks, and then I saw Alex Rodriguez have an MVP season with the Yankees, and I'm like, this is so much more entertaining than Paul Lo Duca and Lastings Millage and Moises and Kaz Matsui and an aging Tom Glavine, John Maine.
Wow. Just roasting.
Who else was on that Mets team? Fernando Tatis Sr.? Come on.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow. You must have started. That's a throwback right there. That's a throwback.
Come on.
All right.
Carlos Delgado.
All right. So last two questions I got for you on MLB. So I got your sort of dark horses and stuff there. Early, again, we already talked about it's way too early. Early World two team you think I'm gonna get out of each league, the AL, the NL. And what do you think is gonna be the first game you're gonna go to? You're gonna go to a D-backs game when the Dodgers come to town or when the Yankees come to town? What's your Do you have a plan for your first? I don't know if you've been to any. Have you been to any ball game so far this year?
No, not even a spring training game. I mean, the D-backs, 10
Wow.
minutes down the road, Jefferson Street, downtown Phoenix.
Yep.
Could always fly back home, back east, go catch a Sox game, go catch a Yankee game in the boogie down, Bronx, New York. I could just about do anything these days. You know why, Zach?
Why, Jack?
You know why?
Why?
You know why, Zach?
Is it because of TickPick?
What's that, Zach?
Is it because of TickPick, the only ticket service that doesn't charge any hidden fees whatsoever? The TickPick?
That's the one, our brand new sponsor, tickpick.com. There's no hidden fees.
Put the graphic on the screen.
The only ticket site with no hidden fees.
Not one.
Yankees and the Red Sox over the summer. You want to go catch the MLB All-Star game in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium over the summer. Head to tickpick.com. You know, I actually looked at StubHub for tickets for the Suns and the Mavericks semifinals out here in Phoenix, Footprint Center. So let's go to StubHub first. $129 for a ticket, Zach. You know what it was after fees?
What?
$156.
Oh.
That is a $25 difference
Yikes.
after fees and services.
Yikes.
UFC 274, Gaichi versus Oliveira. Oliveira put on a hell of a fight, right? Was there at the Footprint Center. Looked at tickets on StubHub. $279 each.
Okay.
You know what? For 2 tickets, $279 each. You know how much it was after fees? Do that math in your head. $279 times 2.
That's what, like 558? It should be, if there's no hidden fees, it'd be like 558.
Well, Zach, little did we know there were hidden fees. It was over $700 total.
That's
over
$200.
That's over $150 in hidden fees. So then I went to SeatGeek for the Suns and the Mavericks, right? I went to SeatGeek. $110. You know what it was after fees? $147. That's a $37 difference.
This is criminal.
That's like 20% of the ticket right there.
I know.
In hidden fees?
It's like a restaurant.
Hidden fees.
Gratuity.
I went to tickpick.com, $132 for a main level seat. Suns versus the Mavericks at Footprint Center. The grand total was, after hidden fees, $132.
Let's go.
What they say, ladies and gentlemen, $132. Head on over to tickpick.com. No hidden fees. Almost bought Pearl Jam tickets tonight. You like Pearl Jam?
I can't believe you said
you like Pearl Jam? Can't find a better man.
Hey, enjoy that concert from what website, Jack?
That would be tickpick.com, our brand new sponsor. Proud to announce them tonight as our brand new sponsor. Tickpick.com, the only ticket service with no hidden fees.
Woo! All right. I like that. So, enough of baseball for now. Let's circle back for a moment to basketball before we have a few ancillary topics. So, what are your thoughts right now? Celtics tied up the series against Milwaukee, so that's a tied series 2-2. Denver, Philly, after getting Joel Embiid back at Harden, put up a 30-piece despite Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets, baby. Woo! The Heat have sucked besides him. That series is tied 2-2. Suns Mavs is tied 2-2. Outside of the Warriors and Grizzlies being 3-1, every other series in the second round is looking pretty even. So with it pretty much being just best of threes going forward, what are your predictions on who makes it out of each of these 4 series and makes it to the conference finals?
I really enjoyed watching Boston and Milwaukee. I got to be honest. They're
such defense, like old school basketball.
Decently evenly matched. I think the Bucks will ultimately get the edge just because of the experience that they've had recently. You know, the defending champions, they're going to defend their turf. As great as the Celtics were, they obviously took advantage of a beat-up Brooklyn Nets team that just didn't deserve to be there. Let's be honest.
They did not.
I desperately wanted to see a Nets-Suns NBA Finals last year. I predicted it for this year. I thought that the pieces were going to come together. Kyrie's just not on the same page as everybody else. But
Kevin Durant was disappointing, but all right, yeah.
But you know, the Celtics did play very well. They took advantage of those miscues, and now they find themselves in a very precarious situation with the Milwaukee Bucks. Can they pull it out? Yes. Will they? I don't know. Do I think they will? Absolutely not. I think the Milwaukee Bucks. I still think that they're going to pull out and be the favorites coming out of the Eastern Conference. I know Philly's got Joel Embiid back, and that guy, seen him up close. I got to go to a Suns game and sat courtside about a month ago and got to see them take on the Sixers. That guy doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need you. Just give him the rock. 5-on-1. Nobody's gonna take that. How do you defend?
I'm not saying he's as good as, but he's the most dominant big man we've had since Shaq. He is just like his incredible.
Athleticism, his reach, his stamina blows Shaq away. I know Shaq obviously in his prime, yes, but towards the end, Shaq was just tall and big, right?
Mm-hmm,
Joel Embiid is tall.
He's got a jumper too.
As hell.
Got a mean jump shot. He's like, I'm not saying he's an amazing jump shooter, but he can get off the block. I mean, he can shoot that mid-range.
Joel Embiid putting a basketball in a basketball net is like the equivalent to me putting an enchilada in my microwave. That's how close it is.
So my guess is based on that, you think that they're just going to roll over the Miami Heat in these next 3 games.
No. I mean, the Heat are very good, dude. The Heat, I think they're going to put up a fight. I mean, they were in the finals a year and a half. I guess it was a year and a half ago with the COVID.
Yeah.
When they took on the Lakers. They were a very good team. And I know I desperately want you to wear that shirt more because it's obviously the only shirt you own. You're probably wearing it in that congrats GCU Zach poster you got behind you. Only egomaniac that I know that has a poster of him in his room right now.
No, it's...
So hold on. I'll show you how you treat yourself if you're gonna blow something up. 1 second.
While we take this break, we would like to thank both our sponsors, BetOnline AG. Sign up for that 50% bonus with the promo code capital BLAV50, and our other sponsor, TickPick. Go to tickpick.com to get your tickets with no hidden fees. Thank you to both our what am I was trying. Oh my. How is that? Isn't that in the
two versions of me?
So now we both do. Okay, but you were saying you predict Miami Heat are gonna win, right? That's what you were gonna say.
I said they're gonna put up a fight.
Oh.
But, and there's a big but, a B-U-T. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to put the old Yeller down, and the Miami Heat will drop that series. And we're going to see ourselves a heavyweight battle between the Sixers and the Bucks.
God, Embiid versus Giannis. That's going to be so fun to watch if that is the matchup. All right, so that's what you got in the East. What do you got in the West? So I'm assuming you don't think the Warriors choke, right? I'm assuming you're predicting the Warriors don't lose 3 straight games. I'm assuming. So, okay, so Warriors.
LeBron's Cavs in 2016, dropping that series, going up 3-1 and losing in that series, yeah, it's a choke job. But you lost to one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
Big deal. I mean, big deal if you're a Warriors fan. That probably sucked. But, it's LeBron James, right?
Yes.
It was a good story. You're not going to see the same in this scenario. And the Mavericks are going to put up a fight, but the Suns ultimately will prevail like they did with New Orleans. And we're going to see the Western Conference Finals that everybody thought we were going to see from day one. The Western Conference Finals I wanted to see since day one. The Western Conference Finals that I wanted to see since day one. The Western Conference
Finals
that I wanted to see since day one. The Western Conference Finals that you wanted to see since day one. And the Western Conference Finals that graduate Zach wanted to see since day one. And the Western Conference Finals that Stan Lee wanted to see since day one, you know?
Oh, I see. I forgot. Hi, Stanley. Hello.
Son of a bitch. Ruined that entire thing. That was a huge buildup. But the point is, Zach, that we are going to see a dream Western Conference Finals. Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Klay Thompson,
Chris
DeAndre Ayton,
Jordan Poole. I mean, what an incredible matchup that'll be. I mean, I think, honestly, I don't think no matter what happens in these next couple of games and rounds in the playoffs, I think we're gonna have an amazing finals this year. I'm hoping it's Suns Miami in my heart of hearts, my 2 favorite teams. But either way, I think we're gonna get or Suns Bucks rematch. We got a revenge. But either way, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But that's enough basketball talk. Only disagreement I have is I think that the Heat will come back against the 76ers and that everything else I'm in agreement with. But it is time to talk about the National Football League to close us out. Two stories. One, the smaller story. I'm curious your opinion of it as someone who is a big baseball fan and whose sport has dealt with this issue quite a lot. So DeAndre, no, not DeAndre. Why am I? Oh my God. Why am I blanking on his name?
We're live, Zach. Get it together.
DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. I got it. Give me a second. DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, suspended for 6 games for failing his PED test. And obviously that's big news. He's probably one of the 5 best receivers in the National Football League. Kyler Murray had that whole offseason drama, so not having his number 1 wide receiver might hurt him in the first 6 games of the season. But a bigger story that I started hearing a lot of people, specifically a lot of baseball writers like Rob Parker and others talk about, was just how it feels like the NFL gets away with like its PED usage and it's way less punished than it is in sports like baseball and basketball and hockey and that punishment. And I'm curious on your opinion as someone who's some of its greats, we talked about it just, a couple months ago, some of his greats for PED got banned from the hall and stuff like that. So I'm curious if you kind of agree with that sentiment that football players in the NFL in general sort of has been given this leniency towards PED that the other major American sports have not been given.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. And you could definitely make the argument that NBA and MLB had it rough too because they play way more games than football players do, right?
Yes.
You had 16, now 17 games during the regular season, 162 for baseball. You got what, 82 plus, 82 in the NBA. So yeah, I mean, 6 games is no joke. I mean, you already got the Kyler drama going on right now. I mean, you just lose your number 1 wide receiver as well for the first 6 games of the season. I mean, come on. That's rough. But at the same time, like, you got to take it seriously, man. Not only are you hurting your team, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your legacy too. DeAndre Hopkins is a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and he might be getting up there in age, but he's still one of the best to do it. Both on the field physically, both on our couches, on our fantasy teams. Like the guy's one of the best. He's a stud. And for him to go down like this, like it definitely leaves a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths that this is going to cost him 6 games and his team 6 games, team that could very well compete for a championship. When you look at the NFC, like obviously the Rams are going to be tough in that division.
That's about it in terms of world beaters. Yeah. Outside the Rams, I mean, Tampa Bay has Tom Brady. You can never count Tom Brady out, but I mean, it's not nearly as stacked as the AFC. So I agree with you. But speaking of the AFC, let's talk about the NFL draft. Let's talk about the biggest winners of the draft. Let's talk about the biggest losers of the draft, and I'll start. The biggest loser of the draft was the New England Patriots. Why did you draft a quarterback when you drafted one last year in the 3rd round? That made no sense. Why did you draft 2 running backs when you already had the 10th best running back room in the NFL? I don't know. Why did you get interior linemen? I don't know. Instead of getting wide receivers to help Mac Jones, who knows? Because Bill Belichick, for his Lito coaches, might be one of the worst general managers when it comes to drafting ever. F grade, horrible draft. And on the flip side, my New York Jets knocked it out of the park. They got a cornerback. They got a wide receiver. They got a lineman. They got a linebacker. They gave Zach Wilson no excuses between free agency and the draft. They got him all the weapons. They got him protection. They got him linebackers to get the other team's quarterback. Obviously, there's not going to be great. They're still a rebuilding team, but they did everything perfectly. The GM, past 2 drafts has been killing it. I'm predicting we 8 and 17 game season. You get at least 8 wins. Get at least 8 wins. Zach Wilson improves. We're looking solid. I'm saying minimum 8, maybe even 10, maybe even a 10-7. I think we killed it. Other teams I think did well.
Hold on. You said the Jets drafted a quarterback?
No, corner. Corner, not quarterback.
I was going to say, usually they draft pretty well when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, Mark Sanchez, A+. Geno Smith, top of the line. Remember that guy, Sam Darnold?
Well, anyway, don't ruin it. This was a great, fantastic draft that we knocked out of the park. Other great drafts, in my opinion. I thought that the Steelers drafted well, obviously getting Kenny Pickett, the whole local team, to eventually probably be the starting quarterback. Got some other developmental wide receivers and stuff like that, and they always draft and develop that well. So really great stuff there. Denver did really well. Obviously didn't have a lot of draft capital, but even with their late round, because of the Russell Wilson trade, but if their late round picks did a little well. Teams that I thought did bad again was Green Bay. They drafted a bunch of defensive players after, losing Devontae Adams, and after their special teams lost them the playoff game. They got a bunch of linebackers, and I still don't understand what the Green Bay front office has been doing for the past 3 or 4 drafts. So those are my big winners and my big losers. Any disagreements? Any other thoughts on the NFL draft? Because I'm a happy boy. The Patriots sucked giantly, and the Jets had an amazing draft. So that's a big thing for me.
Dude, the Jets always are said to have great drafts. How many times have we I mentioned those 3 names before? People were thrilled with Sanchez.
None of these are quarterbacks, though. We didn't draft a quarterback this year. We drafted we didn't draft a quarterback. We didn't draft a quarterback.
They've always had a decent defense, so it's never stopped them from sucking before. And yeah, I don't agree with New England's draft picks. I mean, why draft a quarterback when you have freaking Mac Jones? I don't.
Yeah, it's an I can't say I understand the decision making of this at all, and it just I me, just 2 years ago when we first met, I was saying, I'm a Bill Belichick over Tom Brady guy, and every day that's looking like a stupider and stupider opinion. It is looking like, all respect to Bill, all-time great coach, probably top 2, top 3 greatest coach of all time, not the greatest coach of all time. But man, it is looking more clear in every day that it was 70-30 Tom Bill for that dynasty. It is every day. I thought it was the exact opposite. And every day I'm looking crazy, and some of these draft decisions are just kind of confusing me. But that's all I have.
You want to get to the halftime report according to your Zoom call?
We did it last week.
Because you're so cheap, you can't buy the main plan. We got 9 minutes and counting remaining meeting time in our Zoom call. You cheap son of a bitch.
Wow. Rude. I already gave my Michael Cera report. There's nothing new to report. Go see Paw Fury, despite it looking bad. Let's support our dear beloved Michael Cera. Love Beth on Hulu. Check it out. He's great in it. We don't need to talk about the rest of the show. So UFC, your boy Gaichi kind of got smacked at UFC 274. Is there anything else you want to do?
Way to put it. That was an unbelievable main card. Let me just start with Michael Chandler's TKO of.
Oh, yes.
So from where I was sitting with Keegan and the rest of the fam, everyone was team Tony Ferguson until Tony Ferguson got his jaw removed from his face by Michael Chandler. That was one of the greatest knockouts I've ever seen.
Oh, so
close
good.
like that at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Holy crap. Oh my God. Crazy. Seeing that replay, I'm like, how did he not die? Who would ever want to become an MMA fighter after seeing that?
Oh my God. Yeah, it was brutal.
I am stunned Tony Ferguson made it to his feet for that announcement after the fight.
Yeah. Kind of pretty crazy.
And then we saw Thug versus Cookie Monster, right? They didn't touch each other for 5 rounds after Michael Chandler's TKO of Tony Ferguson. 5-round championship fight. The second fight between the two. We're going to see a third one now because we crowned a new champion, Esparza, winning, and it made no sense. They didn't touch each other. Joe Rogan said it in the post-fight interview with her. Are you stunned by the outcome? Because you guys didn't lay a finger on each other, right? And he did congratulate her. He's like, well, the good thing is you're the new champ and you didn't get touched. There's not a scratch on you and you're getting married in 10 days. So congratulations there. I guess everything was meant to pan out the way it was supposed to. But they didn't touch each other for 5 rounds. One takedown with 10 seconds left in the 5th round. And that was it.
Yeah, I say there are some highs and some lows of this title.
And then Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira. And again, the backstory there, the night before, Charles Oliveira at the weigh-in by half a pound missed weight and had to be stripped of his UFC lightweight title, which meant if Charles Oliveira won this fight against Justin Gaethje, he would not win the title back. He would just be the number 1 contender for the lightweight title, whereas Justin Gaethje had the chance to win the lightweight title for the first time ever. He was an interim lightweight champion a little while back, but this would be his first official one. He came out of the gate swinging, knocked Oliveira on his ass twice back-to-back within a minute in that first round. But then he had some wild swings, man. He had one really off-balance strike where he actually went down to one knee. It just did not look good. He looked tired right off the bat. He's a fighter. He didn't waste any time, which is what I loved after that women's fight. I mean, they didn't touch each other 5 rounds. Justin Gaethje comes out of the gate swinging. It just doesn't work out for him. Charles Oliveira chokes him out. Charles Oliveira is an animal, man. I didn't realize how good that dude was until I saw that fight on Saturday night. He deserves to be the lightweight champion of the world. And he went straight up to Dana White after the fight and was just like, I'm taking my title back, man. Half a pound, Zach.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I feel like you should have to be a full pound. I don't know, that half a pound and then the title's like no one full. I understand if you're like a full like pound or a pound and a half. I don't know, half a pound. That seems kind of, I get you have to cut it off somewhere. You have to give a range. You have to cut it off. But I think he's gonna defend it. I mean, what is it? Is it Michael Chandler that he's gonna fight for probably the title fight?
Every single lightweight fighter, I swear to God, calls out Conor McGregor. Every single lightweight after they win calls out McGregor. Chandler did call out Gaethje. He did call out Oliveira to take on the winner for the lightweight. He also called out McGregor because that's the money fight, right? Though I still think we're going to see McGregor Poirier if he does end up coming back. We'll see the first ever 4-fight extravaganza in the history of Ultimate Fighting Championship. But yeah, that's the next plausible fight, Oliveira versus Chandler, right? After that TKO, people want to see it. Oliveira is the best lightweight in the game today. It's the toughest division in the UFC, yet the most exciting division in the UFC.
Yes.
So I want to see it. I want to see Oliveira versus Chandler next. I don't know. The UFC is going to be interesting moving forward. There's not too many huge fights coming up in the UFC. Francis Ngannou is coming back, I know. Israel Adesanya is going to be fighting here pretty soon. But other than that, there's no real marquee fights on the bill coming up for Dana White over the summer. So I'll be interested to see what he puts together.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. I mean, if there's any great fight promoter that can come up with something out of thin air, it's Dana White. So even though it looks, a little bit of a barren summer right now, I think just hold on. I think he might have something up his sleeve that he's ready to pull out. But yeah, so let's give one last shout out to both our sponsors before we close. Thank you to betonline.ag. Sign up for that promo code, capital BLEAV50 for 50% off. And thank you to TickPick, our brand new sponsor of the show. Got your tickets at tickpick.com, the only ticket provider with no hidden fees. Mr. O'Hara, would you like to close us out? What?
You see that?
Melatonin?
I'm thinking melatonin right now because that's how boring those ad reads were. They're gummies too.
Did you just take melatonin?
BetOnline.ag, they put the BET in BetOnline. You can use that promo code, capital BLEAV50 for that 50% bonus. I said capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus. I said capital BLEAV 50 for that 50% bonus. Head on over to tickpick.com. Watch out for that promo code. Stay tuned for that promo code coming from tickpick.com, our brand new sponsor here at the O Show podcast. That is how you sign off from Jack and Matt and Zach and Stan Lee. Bet, bet, bet.